The portal is closed. You can't get in it, but you can still be in it if you were already in it before the deadline. And after a sip from the chalice, I got some big news for you. In fact, it's appropriate that the color of the choice liquid in the chalice is sort of garnet, maybe a little garnet, because the latest out of the transfer portal has to do with Keon Coleman. Colin, that's probably your endpoint there. Keon Coleman was the biggest target remaining in the transfer portal by my estimation, literally and figuratively, 6'4" and change, and he was a receiver from Michigan State, put up about 800 yards receiving and 7 touchdowns in a bad year last year. He picked FSU over Ole Miss. This is the one we've been monitoring for a while. Remember, he and Peyton Thorne both went in the portal at Michigan State about the same time. He has landed at Florida State. Now, I told you earlier in the show, let me paper pop for this one. I told you earlier in the show I was going to give you a little list of the heights of the guys in their receiver room now. So you got Johnny Wilson at 6'7". Keon Coleman just walked in the door. He's 6'4". Hakeem Williams is 6'3". Kentron Poitier 6'3". Deuce Spann is 6'4". Damian Williamson 6'3". And then they got 3 tight ends that are 6'7", 6'4", and 6'3", respectively. I think the average male is like 5'10", right? You walk in there, they look like Lithuanians. It's crazy. It's like watching the Olympics when I was younger saying, Dad, what country are they from? And he just tells me a long way away from Harris County, Georgia. They have monsters in Tallahassee, Florida right now. And so I'm going to keep asking you, and then a lot of people will pick up on it as the season gets closer, how many secondary rooms right now, how many DB rooms feel totally comfortable that you have the size and physicality to match up with not just that room, but remember, Jordan Travis is returning at quarterback there. Brendan Sonnone from Knowles 24/7 had a really, really good tweet here. If you're on podcast, listen to this. So Keon Coleman was among the best wide receivers nationally last season in production on go routes, hitch routes, and in routes. Jordan Travis, the quarterback there, had the 5th best passer rating nationally when throwing those 3 concepts. Look at that. They told me data and analytics would just confuse me. Well, I let Sonnone put it in terms even I could understand, and I appreciate that. And then he put up a fancy chart that just thoroughly confused me again. Running backs are coming off the board too. I think it was about a week ago when I said, hey, there are 2 running backs here that you need to pay attention to. Well, they're gone now. They have found new homes. Logan Diggs was out of Notre Dame, had a little over 1,000 yards total and 6 touchdowns last year. He's gone to LSU. It's not just the Auburn Tigers in the West that have been making moves. The LSU Tigers have been on a roll in the portal and recruiting too. Brian Kelly is killing it at LSU right now. So Logan Diggs goes to LSU. Alton McCaskill, that was the kid who was the AAC Freshman of the Year a couple of years ago. He goes from Houston to Colorado. So Deion got him one here. 2 years ago, he was injured last year. 2 years ago, 1,074 yards rushing, 18 touchdowns, and he was a true freshman. So they got a good talent there if he's healthy. Kayvon Lee, kind of a depth chart casualty from Penn State. He goes to Mississippi State. He's had 1,000 rush yards over 3 seasons there. He's really versatile. He can catch the ball out of the backfield for him. And look, the thinking there obviously is if he's put in a more feature role, he could do some things for you. It's just that it's really hard to crack that rotation when you have what you have at Penn State right now. And also, the kid whose last name it really is hard for me to pronounce, Demi Sumo, and then it starts with a K. Well, he went from NC State to Kentucky. And really what you need to know there is redshirt freshman, a little over 450 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. He's just staying paired up with Devin Leary, who was his quarterback. So those are those are big names at the running back position out of the portal who have moved on. The wide receiver from North Texas that I mentioned a little while ago, Jair Shorter, that is another big-time name that Auburn landed. Had 2 kids out of North Texas, big pass catchers. Had Gums, the tight end, who went to Arkansas, then didn't, then stayed at Arkansas. A classic transfer portal recommitment, if you will, which was a term that was, I think, coined by Webster's like 10 minutes ago. Well, Jair Shorter was on that same team. And he was number 1 in all of FBS in yards per catch last year. Did you know that? Hugh Freeze did. That's why I went and got him. 13th best available player in the portal at the time. He's a 4-star receiver. Really good deep threat here for Peyton Thorne. who himself is a transfer portal addition for Auburn. So Auburn now, number 3 class in the transfer portal. They've lost 20 kids to the portal. They've added 19. 10 of those 19 players are ranked 4 stars. That's the most in all of America. Who's still in this thing? Who are the best players still available? Because you might think that it's empty. It's not quite empty yet. If you need wide receivers, the last thing you do before you go on vacation out there, coaches, if you need a wide receiver or two, 6 out of the top 10 available players in the portal as of tonight are at the wide receiver position. And we also, on our show, we took a little interest in Isaac Ukwu. That is the 7th-year kid out of James Madison, the defensive end. He's still available. And Pate State's put out an offer. It's conditional, though. Like, we'd like for him to go to some place that actually exists, but if no one else offers him, we got a spot for a 7th-year senior, last name UKWU at Pate State.